What did I just watch? That's a tough way to start your morning, huh? Meshuggah. Sure. I guess, thank you. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me for yet another reaction video. If you're new here, subscribe, hit those notifications, and you'll be good to go with all the alerts you need. Now, had quite a few requests come in for this one, and it's a band called Meshuggah and a song called Bleed. Now, of course, I know who Meshuggah are, or at least I know of them. I have friends who've loved them for a long time. I have one friend who always was trying to get us to listen to their stuff, and maybe just being young and silly and closed off to new music, I didn't ever get into it or didn't ever listen to it. Is it possible I've heard anything from them in a club or a car or a gig? Yeah, it's possible. I don't recall anything, and there've been quite a few requests to look at this, so slightly excited, slightly nervous. But yeah, Meshuggah, Bleed. Let's see what you got. Ooh, those flies are unsettling. That is a terrifying place to stop, so let's go back. I'll go back to kind of the beginning, because I want you to hopefully hear what I'm about to say. Music is a strange thing, and a lot of people say to me, how did you pick out that? Or, you know, you brought out pieces of a song that I haven't heard and I've been listening to it for years. And that's just because of the way you listen to music. When I listen to music, ordinarily, I'm like everybody else. I just have a good time, bop my head, and just get on with it. But for these, and it's mostly because of my time in studio and practicing writing songs and listening to lots of music, if you can find a way to separate the instruments, and that's why you'll sometimes see my body move, and sometimes it's a visual thing, and you'll find your own pattern if you practice it enough. But if you can separate some of the instruments, you can try and figure out what's going on. And of course, I don't get it right probably most of the time, but it gives you a deep understanding of what the band's doing. So they've got this weird gallop that is the kick drum and guitar, and I'm assuming the bass is in there as well. It's quite cluttered, and it's very, very, it sounds like quite tight and compressed. And that feels like a very odd kind of off time signature. But if you separate that from the hi-hats and the snare, it's essentially this 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's essentially following this 4/4. At least that's what it sounds like at the moment. But the other parts of the drums and the guitar is thrown off a bit. So it feels like 4/4, but it feels very uncomfortable. It feels very odd. And then ironically, I mentioned the flies in the beginning. There's another guitar on top. I can't actually, it's definitely climbing up in terms of a tonal value and then climbing down again, but I can't hear the specific notes. And I don't know if it's just I'm not hearing it, but it almost sounds like when like a fly comes past you and you get that kind of influx of the sound and it disappears again. And that's what it sounds like it's doing there. This is very strange, but I'm very intrigued. It's brutal. I'll tell you that, it's brutal. It's almost like they did like a weird key signature change there and then came back down again. I want to say something about the vocals, but I want to hear a bit more to get a better understanding first. Yeah, I'm so interested with vocals. This is more a question than it is a comment. not a singer. So I find it so interesting. If any of you guys are singers, or if you've seen anything kind of behind the scenes with these bands, really interesting to see how they go about creating their vocal, even if it is screaming, their vocal melodies or their vocal phrasing. Let's say phrasing, when it's such like unique or different or non-melodic music supporting it. And I don't mean that as in a bad way. It's completely different, and it's ultra brutal. It'd be very interesting to know how they kind of come up with that. Do they do the vocals first? Do they do the music, and then the vocalist just gets the recording and just sits and listens and listens and listens? Because they work together completely perfectly. It's just, I'm always interested. I wouldn't know where to start with that. So if you've seen anything out there, pop a link in the comments, and I'd love to give it a look. This video is intense. There you go. Okay, that is something I talk about in a lot of music, so I'll go back so we can hear it properly. A lot of other reactions is I talk about a top and a tail, and your body latches onto that, and that's how you kind of find your rhythm to bop your head or follow the melody, if you will, follow the phrasing. And they did a very good job of throwing that in the trash can. They just went into a hyper confined version of what they were doing in the kind of previous minute and a half, and they had something that felt like it was just this infinite loop. Musically, it didn't feel like it had a top and tail, because as you were trying to figure that out, it was starting again. And I think because of what's going on in the song so far, I'm still trying to figure out what their like flavor and vibe is, but it really works. I thought it was pretty cool. This song makes me uncomfortable, but not in a way, but also in a way that makes me want to hear more. So I'm a sucker for it. They keep it going so long, you almost lose yourself in it. Okay, that isn't 4/4 anymore, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what that is. It would probably take me about a year with an abacus and 6 calculators to work out. If you know, let me know. Sure. There's that lead work that you're hearing sitting right on top, and it sounds like it is coming from guitar. I mean, to be honest, at that stage, it's quite soft and delicate in the mix that it could be something else, something like an organ or something like that, but it's most likely a guitar. But it's the first time you've heard something that sits outside of the confines of what they've been doing, and I mean as an entirety, as a song, with the drums, the bass, the guitar, the vocals. It's the first thing that it has felt like it sat outside of that. So it provides you almost with some relief, even though it is almost a little menacing in itself. But yeah, it's all very uncomfortable, but very cool. Video is intense. actually hurting my brain just because I'm trying to figure out certain things. I'm trying to, it's not providing a lot of opportunity to, at least for me, to separate a lot of what they're doing. It is ultra brutal, and actually I think it's one of these songs that I think would be better live because of how brutal it is, and because of it's not simple. It's not what I'm trying to say, because I nearly said how simple it is. It's certainly not simple, but because of how there's a constant theme, right? So even though what they're doing, from weird time signature changes or the gallops or the tightness of what they're doing, the consistency, it's definitely got a universal theme to it, which they follow in quite tightly. And it would be very cool. It's one of these that I actually would like to in the future do a live reaction to, or a reaction to one of their live songs, because I think it would be very interesting to see how they pull it off. Again, that lead work coming in, providing some relief to the intensity, and it's almost like a replacement for the vocals because they've dipped out. So you've got this small instrumental section where, again, it's still gallops, it's still this fast work, it's still that weird time signature, but it's giving you something lighter. It's giving you something lighter on top. Again, still menacing, still very uncomfortable, but it's again, there's so little sitting outside of that main box of music that they're playing, that it is a nice relief. Oh, he's one of them now. This dude's got 3 arms. What did I just watch? That's a tough way to start your morning, huh? Meshuggah. Sure. I guess, thank you. No, for real. Thank you, though. I'm always looking to do new stuff on the channel. That was intense. That was brutal visually, music-wise. I'm more interested in the composition and how they put that together and what the theme of that song is. Than probably the song itself, because a lot of it is something that's very new to me. So I'm trying to figure stuff out and see what their flavor is. I still don't think I have a good understanding of what kind of music they play. I mean, I know it's heavy, and I'd love to know what particular or specific genre this is. So let me know in the comments if you do know. I'm sure you do know. But yeah, I definitely want to hear more. May need to give it a couple of days. Just feel ultra uncomfortable right now. But yeah, that was intense, but it was very cool. There was a lot in there that I found very interesting. So let me know where to go next. Let me know which next Meshuggah song to take a look at. If there's a live one, that would be very cool as well. But until then, please be safe, be nice to each other, and have a damn good day.